Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Jeremy Sutton, owner of Servant PT, host of the Servant PT podcast. Help women 50 and over live a life full of health, family, and fun. Today, I want to talk about being nice. Um, it's something that, we think should come easy to most of us, or maybe it shouldn't, but hopefully it comes easy to you. But it's something that we sometimes forget to do. And I want to tell you a couple of stories about yesterday and how I saw this play out. And hey, good morning, Michael. How you doing, buddy? Just want to tell you kind of how this played out in my life yesterday. So, I own a business, and I want to say that everything I do is perfect, and that I've got this all down completely, 100%. But that's just not the case. So, you have to file sales tax to the parish. We have parishes here in Louisiana. If you're wondering, you're watching this somewhere else, you're going, what the heck's a parish? So it's a county, but we're in Louisiana. So, you have sales tax, and so you have to report quarterly. Well, I don't sell anything in my clinic. So those kind of always go on the back burner. And for several quarters, I'm not going to tell you how many, I hadn't reported that. And so I'd get they would call me and say, hey, Jeremy, you need to do this. I was like, yes. And so I would get online, and I'd done it online before, but I just couldn't remember how I did it. And it was never the most important thing. Okay. So yesterday, it became the most important thing because I got a notice in the mail. Toy store popped in my head. That's funny. So when I got the notice in the mail yesterday, that it was $253.50 was basically my sales tax, my estimated sales tax over the last however many quarters, 4, 5, 6, I can't remember. It was several. So I immediately picked up the phone and said, can I pay this over the phone? And so I got a lady in the at Caddo Parish, and she was really nice. And something I do when I'm trying to deal with my business and really anything is, if I get somebody on the phone that's being nice, I always thank them for it. Thank you so much for helping me. Thank you for taking time. Thank you for understanding that things happen and whatever it was. And even if somebody's not being completely nice, I'll still try to do that because generally it makes the conversations go a whole lot better. So, of course, the lady answers. She's super friendly from the get-go. Sure, Jeremy, I'll help you with that. I called to ask if I could pay over the phone is what I did. And so she says, no, you can't pay over the phone. And I said, well, can I write a check and send it? Yes, that's absolutely fine. And she was like, well, what happened? And I told her, and she said, well, do you sell anything in your clinic? And I said, no, ma'am, I surely do not. And she's like, well, let me call you right back. So basically calls me back. She tells me she's going to call me back in 5 minutes. And guess what? She actually did call me back in 5 minutes. So you tell somebody you're going to do something, please do it. Calls me back in 5 minutes. So, well, since you don't owe anything, you can just fill out those quarterly reports and send them in, and we'll be fine. You won't owe us any money. And it kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, wow. And so I said, okay, so let me get this straight. I send these quarterly reports. I don't owe you $253.50. And she said, yeah, that's exactly right. And so I filled those out, and I sent them in, and we're good. I don't owe that money. So that's the first story. That's the first story where them being nice, me being nice, made a big difference. So here's the second story. Last night we're at my little girl's school. They have pumpkin night light or light night, whatever they called it. And all the kids from the school decorated pumpkins. They're there. The kids are doing little songs, like 3 or 4 songs a piece. So kindergarten goes, my little girl's in the first grade. It gets time for her. So they've got this gym. They have a little door here, a window here, and a little door over here. A little door, regular size door. So they have 2 doors, and they say, okay, everybody, they announce inside, we're going to let y'all walk out. After y'all walk out, other parents are going to walk in. They tell everybody outside. Parents, all the other parents are going to come out. You're going to walk in. No big deal. It's basically swapping rooms. And so we're standing there letting people come out, and there's like people trying to squeeze in through the doorway while the others are coming out. Clearly standing right beside me, listening to the same directions I heard, and they're just not letting other people come out. And it's pretty annoying. But then there's this guy in front of me. We'll call him Crotchety Calvin. and Crotchety Calvin starts going, I can't believe these people are walking in front of them. I can't believe, oh my gosh. And just starts just losing it. And I just go, oh my gosh, can I just go home now? And it was just crazy because, first off, clearly there were instructions given on what to do, what not to do. Secondly, people didn't listen to the instructions, which is probably pretty common in this world. I'm sure most teachers would understand that. And then the third thing is the guy just losing his stuff over people not listening. And I'm going to be honest, it was frustrating, it aggravated me too. Like, why can't you just wait 5 seconds? There's plenty of seats. And the crazy thing is we get in there, and now for the kindergarten, that place was packed. There were people everywhere standing up against the walls, it was ridiculous. And for Molly's class for first grade, it wasn't that packed. There were still a lot of people in there, but there weren't near about as many. So maybe when your kids get to first grade, you stop wanting to do that. I don't know. But the fact is, if everybody would have just been nice and listened to the directions, it would have been fine. But no, people have to push and get there first and things like that. And so, and you just have to understand, we're not Ricky Bobby. You can be second and not be last. It's not a big deal to not be first all the time. But just wanted to share those two stories because one of them, being nice definitely paid off. The second one, I don't know. There was really no consequences for the people being rude and pushing through, other than me having to listen to Crotchety Calvin complain about it, and whoever else is standing around. But it's just awkward when people do stuff like that, and it's also uncalled for. I mean, there's just no need for pitching a fit and acting ridiculous at children's events, in my opinion. And hopefully I'll never do that. So if I do, please don't rewind this video and put it in front of me, please. But guys, if you could be nice throughout the day, if you can treat other people with respect and treat them how you want to be treated, if you can say please and thank you and smile instead of frown, things just go so much more smoothly. I don't know if that's the right verbiage. They just go better, We have people come in here that are, I deal with people hurting all the time. That's the only reason somebody comes into my business, is because they're in pain. It's not to see me. It's not because they love me. It's not to give me a hug. It's because they're hurting. And so we deal with people with pain every single day. And if I'm a jerk to those people every single day, hey, Miss Carolyn, hope you're having a great morning. If I'm being a jerk, if I'm not being nice, well, guess what? They're going to feel even worse, and they're not going to come back. So it doesn't have to be my way or the highway. It doesn't have to be, I don't take any crap off of my patients, which is so stupid. The next therapist that tells me that, I'm going to throw something at them. It's just like, we just have to be, we need to be people. We need to be humans. We need to treat everybody like people and like we want to be treated. So if you can do that, man, you can just win so much better and have such a much better day, week, year, life, rather than going around trying to look at people, to nitpick things and to point out problems and to poke people. So guys, I hope y'all have an amazing day and do a good thing today, and just see y'all tomorrow.